Completed my residency training in Alabama, and that was in 1996. So I started July 1996.
In 1996.
July of 97.
I finished on a Friday, moved my family over the weekend, and started on that Monday.
Let's see, that was in 1998.
I did 9 years with the military, and then I came here in 1997.
My grandfather started in medicine in this area in the 1920s. He moved to Houma, started family practice. He was one of the first doctors here.
My dad and mother moved here in 1965, which is the year I was born.
And I was born in Baton Rouge.
I grew up in Wisconsin.
You know, my dad's a doctor, my mom's a nurse, so that was kind of always something I'd been exposed to.
Grew up, my dad was a physician. He would take me on rounds with him at the old hospital.
My father, Dr. Jerry, was a general surgeon, and he came to Houma in 1963 to start practicing.
I grew up in foster care. One of my foster fathers collected old medical books, and I had a lot of health problems as a child, so I read a lot of those old medical books. So I knew from the age of 7 or 8 that I wanted to do medicine, because if you ever looked at an old medical book, they are extremely interesting.
I kind of rolled into it. My first career, I was a petroleum engineer.
I originally graduated with a degree in business.
When I was 13, I had pneumonia and empyema, and Dr. Jerry saved my life. He put 4 chest tubes in, and then they had me on grand rounds at LSU as the case. And I think that sealed my fate. I was going to be a doctor from then on.
After a very short period of time of working in finance, I decided that was not something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And that's when I decided to pursue a career in medicine.
I have 3 uncles that were physicians. One was a pediatrician, my Uncle Bobby. Yeah, Tommy and Dickie were with my grandfather. 2 brothers became physicians, a few cousins, another brother who was a chiropractor. So we have a big medical family, so I was highly influenced to go into medicine, of course.
But I worked for Marathon Oil Company for about 7 years, and oil in 1986 went to $9 a barrel.
Once I had a child, I decided I wanted a different life for myself.
My interests were always all the sciences, math, physics. I always did well in those courses, and that's basically what you need to know when you're going into medicine.
And I didn't have any money, and the military offered to pay for my medical school education if I would then be active duty for a while.
So I kind of went right back to school. I thought I wanted to be a school teacher, and
My father was a family practice doctor, and I would come home and say, oh, I love pediatrics, or I love OBGYN, and he'd say, no, you don't. You need a life and you want to have children. He was joking and said, you can pick dermatology or radiology. And so I didn't like dermatology, so I went into radiology.
the professor I worked with on my thesis, he said, Howard, you're not PhD material. He said, you need to go to medical school.
I finished college in 1986 and then attended LSU Medical School.
There weren't that many women physicians, and I found myself always being assigned to take care of the women, and I really enjoyed taking care of them.
I would say I didn't know anything about orthopedics until I had surgery in high school on my shoulder by Dexter Gary.
So OB allows you the chance to do the surgical plus the other parts of medicine.
And it was right down my alley because I was always a fixer. Growing up, my mom always would call on me when there was something that needed to be fixed anywhere around the house. She'd get me, if I didn't know how to fix it, I'd figure it out.
And so for radiology, I went to Denver, Colorado, but I was homesick and I knew I was coming home.
We had a lot of family here. We had a lot of friends here.
Dr. David Fake, he called me my second year and asked me if I wanted to join the group at Houma Radiology. And I signed the papers the next time I came home, and I already had a job.
I came down to a conference in New Orleans, and I loved the culture. I just loved the fact that you all thought you weren't part of the United States.
And at the time, my dad was practicing by himself, so he needed help. He needed a partner.
I was recruited by Dr. John Floyd. I was finishing my OB/GYN residency at Arnold Palmer Hospital in Orlando, Florida. And he kind of made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Every time I tried to get out of the military before, I was in some weird location like Iceland or Turkey, and they'd be, good luck finding a job.
I always knew I would come back to South Louisiana because this is where I grew up, and I kind of like the fishing, the hunting, the food.
So I was working with a recruiter, and I told her how much I liked the Louisiana culture and the food and the people. And she said, I got this little town down the road for you.
I mean, this was home, you know. I mean, this is where I was born and raised.
I could tell right away it was home.
The first 10 years of my practice, I practiced with my dad. But it was great, you know, we worked together every day. It was just the two of us.
I've been at the same clinic, which was Home Orthopedic Clinic at the time. It's now Gulf Coast Orthopedic Clinic, so I've been there 29 years.
You know, I built my office around the corner in 2004, and on July 7th, a woman I never met before came in my office and delivered her 23-week-old baby on my new tile floors. And we immediately grabbed the baby, resuscitated the baby, drove it around here to the emergency room. And that baby is now 23, and he's a college graduate. I'll never get over that day. That was a real christening of my new office floors.
I remember one of the older doctors one time said, golly, I couldn't imagine operating with my dad. I said, well, I couldn't imagine not operating with my dad.
I've spoken to my father a lot because we would hang out in the surgery lounge in between cases way back in the day, and like we would be on call the same night, and we'd both be in the middle of the night when he's doing an abdominal procedure, and someone would like say I needed a splenectomy, and I'm there to fix all the broken bones, and we collaborated on some of the same patients.
Technology has increased so much from when I was in school. It would take 30 minutes for a CAT scan to be done. Now it takes seconds for the images to come out.
Everybody was in private practice, but now you see where that's totally different. Most of the doctors are in multi-specialty clinics, working for the hospital.
When we started, you know, I'd do knee and hip replacements. The patients were admitted the day before surgery, and they would stay on average 10 days in the hospital. Now they come in the day of surgery, and we're doing large majority of total joint replacements are outpatient.
The biggest change is electronic medical records.
I love it. I can't tell you how many hours I was in that dark room looking for health records at 3 o'clock in the morning. All that information is at your fingertips, although sometimes it's too much information.
Part of what I love about radiology, it's almost like a puzzle trying to find the answer, and then the technology is always increasing and always getting better exponentially.
I never ever had the thought of venturing anywhere else.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I first came to Houma, this was the main hospital we did all of our cases at. So they gave us the facility and the equipment to practice medicine.
I'd like to hope that we look at it as a team approach. Doctors have been just as important in success as the hospital has been in the success of the doctors.
I like most everything about Terrebonne General.
I've been here for 29 years. I've never wanted to leave, so.
We've had a lot of changes.
And I've seen so many changes at Terrebonne General. Like the thing that I am most impressed with is that we now have a NICU, so we can keep our own sick babies in our own community, and I think that's so much easier for the parents.
So now we're able to take care of patients of all gestational ages.
I'm glad the hospital had the foresight to build the Women's Center because I think it's been a big plus.
It's definitely changed in 29 years I've been practicing.
But one thing that hadn't changed, and which I really enjoyed about working here, the nurses in labor and delivery are some of the hardest working people I've been associated with.
My favorite people to talk to is, I see Dr. Henry all the time, and Dr. Pellegrin and Dr. Alexander. They come by and
It makes it very easy when you need to consult another physician or call another physician.
that makes us both make a better decision for the patient.
Anesthesiology department. We always had the availability of having a CRNA in-house.
And then I love it when a patient comes by and asks if my dad was Herman Walker, and it always brings a smile to my face because he's passed away for a few years now, and it's always nice to hear.
I was in high school and my grandfather was practicing, so I never did practice when he was around, but I remember him always saying that work hard and work as long as you can, because it says something for working for a long time. And my dad always said that every time I asked him, when are you going to retire? He was like, retire? I'm not going to retire.
So it's got to be you do this because you love it.
Don't be shy or scared or intimidated to ask another physician for some help.
When I was first trying to build my practice, one of the older doctors said the ABCs of developing practice. A, be available. B, be nice. And C, make sure you're competent. And he goes, usually in that order also.
Enjoy learning, because we're always reading about things and learning, and then learn from your mistakes.
Just know your boundaries, that you don't know everything going into when you first, especially when you first start. I mean, I'm still seeing things I haven't seen before and still learning new things and coming across something in surgery I haven't seen before. So
Listen to your patients.
Just remember the basics, you know? You got to listen to the patient. Try to look at them eye to eye and get away from that computer a little bit.
So I think the best piece of advice I would give anybody is to love yourself, believe in yourself, and don't give up your dreams for somebody else.
Balance my work with my family. Love my job, but your children are only little for a little time. No one ever told me that, but my mom and dad did that for me and my siblings, and I just always thought that was so important.
To me, the best experience in the world is delivering a happy, loved, healthy baby.
Dedication, that would be a word.
one word.
Exhausting.
I would have to say female-centric. Oh, that was 2.
Non-stop. 24/7.
Fulfilling.
Also,
another word is it's very humbling.
Fulfilling would probably be the best word.
Hard work and enjoy it. Enjoy what you do.
If you do something that you enjoy and that you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
I look forward to going to work because I enjoy the interaction with the people.
You're getting to take care of 3 generations, and sometimes the grandmother's there and she's like, I remember when you delivered her. So
That's one of the fulfilling things about practice obstetrics and gynecology is you see these patients for a lifetime.
So I'm just so thankful that a community hospital like Terrebonne General gave me the opportunity to practice and, have my privileges. And that's the way I always looked at it. It was a privilege.
I've had quite a few kids from high school or college follow me around in surgery, and some of them, a lot of them are already in medical school and want to do orthopedics.
I can't even tell you how many patients in home or how many people I know call me just to be able to review images with them or just talk to them about their scans.
The goal was to always give them a baby that when they hug that baby hugged them back. Those kind of rewards, you can't almost put a dollar price on that.
I mean, I just love how we are doing evidence-based medicine more and more and getting more to standardized care so that every patient can expect the same level of care. And I've seen a lot of changes in Terrebonne General over the years that they've made that progression into the future.
We all have the same goal, to help the patient and do no harm.
When you don't enjoy it anymore, then you'll stop. But right now, I still enjoy it. It's still fun. Every day is a new life.